course, you want to live your dreams. And we all have dreams. All normal people do. Young people have dreams. Middle-aged people have dreams. Old people have dreams. Right? This is just part of being human. Where do they come from, these dreams? And by dreams, I don't mean like the kind of dreams when you're sleeping, right? And you have a dream. I mean, your imagination. Imagining a better life. Imagining the kind of life you would enjoy the most. You know, for most people, this means having a lot of freedom, having a lot of love and friendships, enjoyment, being healthy, fit, all these kind of things. You know, these are kind of the normal things that most people want. So when I say live your dreams, that's what I mean. I mean, live that life that you choose, that will make you happy, the most happy, that you dream about and imagine and want. The problem is most people don't do that. Most people at some point in their life, most people when they're young, they're dreaming and, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, you know, and they have all these great ideas about how they want to live and the kind of life they want to live, and they dream of travel and they dream of interesting experiences and great friendships and love and financial freedom and success, whatever that means for you. But at some point, most people give up, they quit. Most people decide, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't live my dreams. It's sad. What's most sad, however, is that most people don't even try. Most people quit without really trying. Maybe they try a little bit, but they don't really put their whole effort and energy into going for those dreams. You know, whether maybe the dream is to start your own business, to be a freelancer. Maybe your dream is to have some certain dream job or career that would make you the most happy. Maybe it's living a life of travel, and who knows? You know. You're the only one who knows that, but you know. And the sad thing is, most people know, if they're honest, if they really think about it, they know what their dream life would be, but they don't really try. Maybe they try a little and they have a few failures, or they have some difficulties and they just quit, and then they just say, well, I'll just do the normal thing like everybody else. But honestly, I think that's rare. I think the most common situation is that people don't even try. They don't even really try. They never take the chance. They never take the risk. Why not? Fear. Fear. Fear, fear, fear. Most people are so afraid, so worried about what? What is it they're worried about? What is the fear? What is this fear that stops so many people from trying to live a different life, a better life? People who dream of starting their own business but never do it. What's the fear that stops them? People who dream and imagine a different career, a different job, but they don't do it. What's the fear that stops them? People who dream of traveling around the world and having adventures and incredible experiences, but they never do it. What stops them? What's the fear or fears that stop them? We got to think about this. This is a very important question, because that's the thing that stops most people. It's the fear. So what is the fear? I'll tell you one thing, it's not rational. It's an irrational, meaning not logical. Meaning really, these are foolish fears. Now I understand, I had them in the past too, so they're common fears, they're normal, they're human, but if we really think carefully about them, they're not logical. Let's say starting your own business, becoming a freelancer, for example, becoming financially free. What are we afraid of? You're not going to die, okay? You're not going to die. That's a real fear. Doing something that might kill you. Okay? Like getting in a race car and driving in a race and you're not experienced. That's probably a logical fear. You might die if you make a mistake. But in business, you're not going to die. I guarantee you're not going to die. So what's the fear? Well, I think most people's two kind of fears. There's the fear of failure, I think, and the fear of criticism, right? Of being criticized by other people. And they go together. And I think these are the two fears that stop most people in life from taking chances, from doing something differently, from trying to live their dream job or their dream life or their dream business or whatever it is. Fear and worry about failure and other people's opinion, criticism. Now, where do we learn these fears? Why are they so strong? Where do they come from? I think schools are a big part of the problem. Because schools train us to fear failure. For sure they do. So that's a lot of years of training when you're too young to understand. You're too little. You're so small. You're starting at 5 years old, sometimes preschool. You're starting 4 years old. So you're too small to be able to understand what's happening. And at this very young age, they're training you to fear failure. Failure's bad. Failure's bad. Don't get a bad grade. Don't make the teacher unhappy and get a bad grade. Don't get a bad score on your test, because then you get the red mark and you take it home and then your parents are unhappy. Oh, be afraid of failure. You want to get an A, right? How do you get an A in school? A is success, right? An A in school is success. And in most schools around the world, an A grade means 90% correct. 90% or more. That's how you get an A. So this is the message you get for all of those years from age 4 or 5 until age 18, or you go to university until age 22. If you go to grad school, 24, 25, 27. That's a lot of years you're being trained with this idea. Failure's bad. And success means 90% correct. And what's failure in school? What do they teach you in failure? You get an F or a D. I'd say a D or an F. Those are both failing grades. An F is 50% in most schools that I've been around, most countries. Usually it's around 50%. So 50% correct means you fail. The big F, the worst possible grade, means 50% wrong and 50% correct. A D, like in the United States, a D, the next grade, which is also a very bad grade, is 60% correct. So 60% correct, 40% wrong. That's still a very bad grade. That's basically failing. So you'll grow up with these scores, with these ideas from so young, you don't even think about it, right? It just seems like this all seems natural and normal. Yeah, okay. 50% correct, 60% success or correct is failing, is bad. And to succeed, I need 90% or at least 80% to get a B. B is kind of so-so. It's okay. But really, for success, real success, I need an A. That's 90% correct. Can you see the problem? Do you understand the problem here? Life is completely different. Most areas of life. There are few areas of life where you do indeed need 90% or even 100% correct to succeed. This is where, if you fail, you die. If you fail, you die, or if you fail, other people die, then yes, you need 99%, 100% correct. For example, if you're building an airplane, if you're making an airplane, you want it to be perfect. You need 100% correct and safe, for sure. Yes. If it's not, then the plane can crash and people will die very bad. However, in most areas of life, especially modern life that is quite safe, you absolutely do not need 90% correct to succeed. Let me tell you something. In most areas of life, especially business, relationships, art, music, many areas of life, 40% correct makes you a superstar. It means you are fantastic. It means you are great. Only 40%. It means you fail 60% of the time. Fail more than you succeed, and yet you will be a high-performing superstar, big, huge success. For example, in sports. Maybe you don't know about American baseball. Maybe I'll do a lesson about American baseball in the future because it's baseball has a lot of good ideas in it about life in general. In American baseball, you have to hit a ball. If a player hits the ball 40% of the time, so 40% they have a chance to hit, and if they hit it 40%, right, which means they miss, we call it striking out, or they get an out, it means they fail. If they fail 60%, they succeed 40%. They're a superstar. Not only a superstar, if they do 40% success hitting for a whole year, they're one of the best ever. One of the best in all of history of baseball. That's how good they are. That's only 40% success makes them one of the greatest hitters ever. Not 90%, not 80%, just 40%. In school, that's failing. That's horrible. That's failing. In business, guess what? In business, if you do an advertisement, you do an advertisement, and 40% of the people buy the product that saw the advertisement, you are going to be super, 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 super rich. In fact, that is almost impossible to achieve even 40% success in business, in sales, in marketing. In fact, the truth is, in marketing and advertising, 10% is a huge, massive, gigantic, big, super success, and you're also going to become super, super, super rich if you succeed just 10% of the time, with 10% of the people. In business, if only 20% or 30% of customers love you, love, just super excited about you, but it's only 30% or 20%, you are going to have a massively super successful business. Let's imagine you're a young guy. You're a young guy and you want to date women. You want to get girls. You want to date beautiful women. And you go out to bars or restaurants or shops or coffee shops, and you go up and you talk to girls. And you ask for their phone number. You ask them for a date. If only 30% say yes, 30% success only, that is amazingly successful. You're going to have hundreds of dates. All you have to do is ask enough girls. 30% is amazingly high. Let's say you're a musician. You're a musician and you're writing songs and recording songs. If just 40% or 30% of them are good and people like them, you will be a genius. People will say you are a musical genius. If just 30% of your songs are popular. The truth is, you only need probably, if you do an album, if you have one song on your album that becomes a big hit and people love it, you can still become a superstar. Just 10% success. Same with art. Pablo Picasso, perfect example. Hugely successful, like people loved his art. He became super famous, and he also made a lot of money from art. He was constantly painting and making sculptures and doing art, just hundreds and hundreds and thousands of art projects. Most of them were not very good. Probably less than 10% became successful and famous, and people bought them for a lot of money. Less than 10% success made Pablo Picasso one of the greatest and most famous and most successful artists in modern time.